Good afternoon, family. Thanks for checking out today's video. If you are new here, my name is Jonathan, and I created this channel as a way to record my progress as I work towards my goal of losing 300 pounds. If you'd like to join the family, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Also, click on the bell icon so you get alerted when I go live or post new videos. If you'd like to participate on the discussion, you can join me weekdays when I go live on YouTube around 4 p.m. Central Time, or outside of YouTube, you can consider joining the Discord or Facebook group that I've created. There are links to those down in the description below. Also down in the description below is a link to a Pinterest board. That is a great place for you guys to check out the different meals and recipes that I have been enjoying since I started my plant-based diet. Today is day 1070 of my challenge to lose 300 pounds. So far, through a combination of extended water fasting and a whole food plant-based salt, oil, sugar-free diet, I have been able to lose 270 pounds so far. If anybody has any non-scale victories they'd like to share, I'd love to hear your non-scale victories. If you have any on-scale victories, I love hearing those as well. If you are struggling with your diet, let us know what's causing your struggles. Maybe there's something we can help you with. If you're succeeding with your diet, let us know what you're doing to succeed so we can share that with everybody else. And at the end of the day, what are some things that you are doing or that you can do that will make staying on your diet easier than the alternative? Let's go ahead, switch over here to the main here. Hello. I hope everybody has had a great week. Oh my, it has been since last week that I've been on, and it's Thursday today. I feel like there's been just a million things that have probably happened since last Thursday. I just can't, or last Wednesday, I think was the last time I was live. I don't know what all of those things were. So maybe I'll remember some of them and we can go over them over course of today's video. Yeah, let's see. Tennessee Yo Girls checking in saying happy Thursday. Happy Thursday to you. Hope you're having a great day. Yeah, it's just been a long couple weeks. I feel like I got sick a couple weeks ago, had some issues with my hearing I think that it's mostly better now. It was kind of frustrating there for it being so long to recover, but I think things are going better as far as that goes. Just been chugging along day after day, just keep going on. I don't even know what to talk about today. I guess the topic of today's video was battling the pleasure trap. It's something that I think we all have to deal with. And the difficulty with the pleasure trap is that you can escape it. You can escape the pleasure trap and you can start eating healthy and being healthy, but it's always there knocking on the door, just waiting for you to give in to the temptations. And it never goes away. And it's very difficult to deal with. And I've been struggling with it here the last few months. And it's a tough, it's tough to know what to do, because I've been working on this diet here for over 1,000 days. And even after 1,000 days, I still am learning. I'm still dealing with the environment that we're surrounded by, and it causes difficulty. The best thing that I have found to avoid the pleasure trap or these pleasure trap foods is to make sure that you're eating an abundance of food that is on your diet, so that you don't end up having those hunger cravings that turn into making poor food choices. If you make sure your diet's filled with healthy foods and your stomach is filled with healthy foods, then it leaves less room for the unhealthy foods that you're trying to avoid. But yeah, it's just there's a lot that goes into trying to avoid that pleasure trap, and it's it's something that even 3 years in, you're going to battle, and 6 years in, I'm still going to be battling it, because it's not like the environment around me is going to change. It's something I've talked about in the past, is that if we could diet in a vacuum, if you could get rid of all external influences, external pressures, if we could just be in our own world with the food we want to eat, then we would all be successful with our diets. But we don't live in a vacuum, and we have to deal with these external temptations and these pressures and the stresses of life, that those things combined with just the ease of access that we have to these high processed foods, it makes it difficult, and it's not going to go away. It's not like all of a sudden the convenience stores and the grocery stores and the gas stations and these places are going to quit selling junk food, and it would be amazing if you could just set things up so you're only in environments where things are perfect for you. But it's not the world we live in. And so it's a constant battle that you have to fight if you want to succeed. And it's been frustrating, these last couple months, just trying to continue to stay on track, but slipping up here and there, and having to deal with those slip ups and being frustrated by them, and trying, but all I can do is learn from them. I have to take each experience as a learning experience, and to make better choices going forward, find scenarios where I can, or make it so I'm not put in a scenario where I have to make a choice. It's sort of like having junk food in your pantry. If you don't have the junk food in your pantry, then you don't have to battle yourself with, to eat the junk food that's there, because it's not there. But it's these other scenarios, it's going to the grocery store, it's going to the gas station, and it's making it through those situations and coming out triumphant, that that over time it becomes, it's continually, it's always going to be difficult. Maybe that's where I thought that I would be able to escape the pleasure trap and then not be sucked back in. And I think that's what so many of us, it's the mentality we have when we go into dieting, is that we're going to eat this new way of eating is going to get us healthy, and we're going to be addicted to this new way of eating. And it's just not the case. It's that old way of eating is never going to go away. Like, I could always go back and eat the way I used to eat. And I don't want to do that. But, like, it was my hope, I guess, that I wouldn't have to continue to battle that, that once I got to, 250 pounds, that I would be so addicted to healthy eating and so in love with this lifestyle that sodas and candies and potato chips weren't going to be tempting to me anymore. And that's not the case. Those things are always going to be a temptation for me. Now, I mean, I definitely don't ever want to get back to where I was. But it's still something that I have to battle and I have to fight. And, I wish I could sit here and say that it's easy to do, because it's not easy to do. And in fact, it's probably tougher to do because I'm not in such an unhealthy spot. When I was 520 pounds, it was easy to convince myself that I needed to do something. I needed to eat healthier and become better. But now at 250 pounds, there still is that want to get healthier and to be better, but I don't feel like I'm a minute away from having a heart attack. I'm not dealing with the chronic pain in my legs. I'm not dealing with the sleep apnea and those things. And so it doesn't seem as dire. And that makes it more difficult than when I started. Because when I started, it was easy to stay motivated. It was easy to stay on track because I was running away from that horrible position that I had put myself in, being 520 pounds. Tennis Yoga Girl here says, yes, I'm 4 years on whole food, plant-based, but I still struggle with the pleasure trap. Thankfully, I'm at a healthy weight, so I'm sticking to whole food, plant-based, and remind myself that I am human. Yeah, and we are human. We're going to make mistakes, and it's going to be how we react to those mistakes and what we do to get back on track. It's, and that's something that in all of this, even when I've had food that has been off plan, a majority of what I am eating is whole food, plant-based, salt, oil, sugar free, by volume. Unfortunately, it's the junk food has a lot more calories in it and a lot lower volume. And so it's difficult to, it screws up that calorie density equation that I feel like we all need to focus on so much, or that's where you're going to see the success is when you can lower the calorie density of your food, and stick to it and make, more of your diet, whole food, plant-based. Pretty Girl's mom says, hey, miss the family. Great to have you here. Yes, it's been a week since I've been on. It's been really busy. The kids are back in school, so every other night it seems like there's some event that we have to go to. I had a meeting last Thursday that kept me from going live. And so, yes, today is the first day I've had a chance to hop on here in over a week. So I'm happy to be back on here and to be talking to you guys. We're just talking a little bit about battling the pleasure trap and how it's always going to be there to battle. It's not going to go away. And even with sticking to a diet for months or years, you still are going to have to battle the pleasure trap. You're going to have to put up a fight against it because it is it's what made me unhealthy. It's what's keeping me from getting to that healthy weight that I want to get to. And it's just a matter of looking at what I'm doing wrong and changing I gotta change the circumstances that I get myself into. And it's something too that with a lot of this, I think it starts off small. It's some micro item that you decide to eat. You decide that, you know what, I'm going to have some tortilla chips today. And so you just have a few tortilla chips one day, and then you go back to your diet. And then a couple days later, you're in a position where you can have tortilla chips again. And you're like, well, I had them the other day. It didn't seem to affect me that much. So maybe I'll have some tortilla chips again. And so then it went from being something that you never had to, okay, I'm just going to have it one time. So now I've had it twice this week. And then fast forward 3 weeks later, and you're like, I've had tortilla chips every day for the last 3 weeks. And it slowly builds. And with the way our mind works is that we're going to go to that highest dopamine stimulating food every time. It's something that's why your body, if you're eating a diet that's whole food, plant-based, salt, oil, sugar free, and then you have some tortilla chips and guacamole or hummus, that is going to be a much higher calorie dense food. It's going to stimulate more dopamine in your mind. And if you allow that into your diet, you might be able to have a small amount the first day. But then if you say, okay, that's part of what I'm allowing myself to eat, then over time, it goes from being a small snack that you have to being as many calories as some of the meals that you were eating. And it creeps up on you, and you think you have control of it. And then you look back and realize, oh, I've had that junk food every day for a week, or, and it's hard, and I don't have any great answers. The best suggestion that I can give is to make sure that you're eating an abundance of food that is compliant to the diet. And that helps a lot. Avoiding the temptations. Don't have the junk food in your house. It's something where if going to the grocery store is causing you to buy that junk food, maybe you need to order online and pick up at the curb. That way you're not tempted by the snack food that's at the checkout counter or on the end caps as you're trying to go and buy healthy food. And then you get distracted by the new flavor of Oreos that's out for the season or something. And so it's something that you have to look at your situation, and you have to start making a game plan for yourself, and you have to start changing the rules of the game so that you don't run into these temptations, or you can avoid the temptations as best as possible. The other thing in the Oreo, I don't know why I did the Oreo, but it made me think of another thing that I feel like has affected me a lot, is that fear of missing out on something, and these companies know that we have this fear of missing out. And that's why Taco Bell will introduce a new burrito that's the same 4 ingredients as another burrito, but they rebrand it and they market it. And so then you go to Taco Bell to buy the new burrito because you don't want to miss out on this great new flavor, and in reality, it's the same flavor that you've always had. It's just in a different combination, or it's just rebranded a little bit. Or like I said, mentioned with the Oreos, they come out with a seasonal flavor. They'll have a Christmas Oreo or a Halloween Oreo or a fall season Oreo. And you'll be worried. You'll want to try it because you see everybody else around you trying it, and you don't want to miss out. Everybody else seems to love this new flavor of that item. Why? I don't want to miss out on that new flavor. And that is something that if you can't get over that fear of missing out, then it's going to put you in a position where you're eating nothing but junk food, because all of the new foods that are coming out are these highly processed crap foods that it's hard to there's nothing good about them. And so you're not really missing out on anything. Like, that's what you have to realize, is that you're not missing out on anything by not eating these processed foods. And in some cases, you know, what for me, I think about is how unhealthy I was eating all those processed foods, is that was going to take years off of my life, that I was going to miss out on all those years because I was worried about missing out on the latest burrito from Taco Bell. And yeah, it's something that we all battle with that. That maybe not we all, but I definitely battle with that fear of missing out. The trying some new flavor, some new snack food, and then this diet puts you in such a, you know, there's nothing that's processed that is on the diet. So in some ways, there's a lot of that fear of missing out. You know, there's a lot of that having to go to social engagements and not eat. And you feel like you're missing out on some part of the social event because you're not eating. And you have to start finding other enjoyment, I guess, from the events than just from food itself. And so, yes, battling the pleasure trap it's never over. 1,070 days in, I still deal with the temptations. There's definitely been waves of it throughout the past 1,070 days. You know, for the first 10, 11 months, it was very easy for me to avoid the pleasure trap because I was so motivated to get healthy and to see myself lose weight. But you know, throughout the second year of the challenge, I would go for a few months with no problem, and then I would have a setback for a week or two, and then I would get back, and I would get back on diet, and I'd start seeing the success again. And it's something that I've never been able to do with any other diet before, is that go off the diet and then get back on the diet. You know, so many times in the past, I'd fall off the diet and then I'd try to get back on, but I'd never be able to get back into it. But with this way of eating, I feel like it's so sustainable that it's something that you can get back into. It's the me eating junk food or having processed foods isn't a result of me starving myself. It is a result of me having that FOMO, you know, that fear of missing out. And so to get back on track is easier because I'm not battling with starvation. And that's something, again, that every diet I've ever done, even when I started this challenge, it was to fast my way to a healthy weight. And that was essentially starving myself to lose weight. And it never worked for me before. And I think that it's hard to, it's hard to figure out. Matt here says, I think it gets easier for me. Everyone is different. You're doing fine. You got this. Yeah, well, and it's part of the reason why I challenged myself to do this for 3 years, is because I knew that it wasn't going to be something that I could just figure out in a few months. And even if I did figure it out in a few months and lost a bunch of weight in a few months, I wanted to be able to sustain that weight loss and to keep it going forever. And that's something that eating this way is a forever thing. It's and because it's a forever thing, you don't have to be perfect with it. You know, the more perfect you are, the better results you're going to get and the closer you're going to get to your goals. But if you have a relapse or you give in to temptation, it's not an all or nothing thing. It's an all or almost all the time thing. And so it's something that it's the next 80 years of my life. The next 50 years of my life. Let's say that we'll be gracious. And over the next 50 years, I probably won't be perfect on my diet. But if for 95% of those days that I have left, if I'm perfect on the diet, then I'm going to see success. I'm going to see what I want to see. You know, I'm going to be the weight I want to be. I'm going to get there. It's just realizing that you're going to have those 5% of days throughout that time that aren't going to go the way you planned. And it's also like the way I'm eating today is not the same way I ate 5 years ago. And the way I ate 5 years ago isn't the same as I ate 10 years ago. It's not the same that I ate 20 years ago. And so looking forward at my future, I don't know that the way I'm eating today is going to be the same way I'm eating 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now. But of all the diets I've ever done in my 20 years as an adult, I've never had a diet where I could see a future where I'm still eating that way 5 years from now, 10 years from now. Every diet in the past has been, I'm going to eat this diet until I get to my goal weight, and then I'm going to eat however I want once I'm at my goal weight. And so it was never a plan to be eating that way 5 years, 10 years, 20 years down the line. And that is a big difference with this way of eating than with any other diet that I've done before. And and that's the difference too, is that this is a way of eating. This is how I'm going to eat. And this isn't a weight loss diet, you know, like eating a whole food, plant-based, salt, oil, sugar-free diet, I think is really, it's to me, it's a longevity diet. It's a way to eat healthfully, forever. And, I forgot where I was going with this point. It's not a weight loss diet. Like it is, but that's a side effect of eating this way, is becoming a healthy weight. This is a way of eating that is going to promote the healthiest life possible. And that is what a lot of my focus has been on, is trying to live as long as possible, be around to watch my kids grow up and grow old with my wife and have grandkids and great grandkids and all that fun stuff. And so, it, yeah, I'm not sure, but, anyways, it's been a frustrating few weeks, but I've been happy with how things are going. It's not been all sunshine and rainbows, but it has been pretty sunny, and I think I've seen a few rainbows. But it's just it's frustrating because when I started this, I was figuring that by day 1070 I'd be rock solid, and I feel solid, but I feel good about things, but I guess it's similar to like an alcoholic, like you think that you can have a few drinks and you're going to be okay. And then you have that drink and then you're on a 2-week binge, a bender. And it's hard to keep those pleasure trap foods at bay, and to, and again, it doesn't just happen overnight. It's something where there's definitely a slow build to it. There's, and for me, it was really the event in July that I was gone for a week. I'm still trying to get back on track from 2-3 months ago. And it's, I guess there's no pressure to get back on track like there was when I started either. Like I feel like I'm so far away from that person I used to be that having a piece of candy or some junk food isn't going to kill me, but it's not that single piece of candy that's going to kill me. It's the hundreds and hundreds of pieces after that one that I have to worry about. So for me, it's got to be about getting back on track. It's got to be about chaining together days of success and consistency, and to win those battles with the convenience store or the grocery store, where you have to go into the grocery store, you have to buy stuff, and there's junk food that you're tempted by, that you give in every time, that you have to not give in. You have to conquer the temptation, because once you can conquer that temptation, then you can build on that to conquer it the next time, and then the next time, and you can look back and say, I haven't had junk food for 4 days. I haven't had junk food for 8 days. I haven't had it for 10, 20, 30 days. It's chaining together days of success that is going to help get me back on track, and to get, to help me see that success that I'm looking forward to seeing. It's, things may not go as in the time or in the order that I want them to go, but eventually, through consistency, I'm going to get to my goal weight. It's just a matter of being consistently consistent. So, but yeah, I don't know. I don't have a lot else to talk about today. I just wanted to get on, kind of let you know, I haven't been on for over a week, and that being gone also doesn't help. It's something that I've been trying to hold myself accountable more, and I'm finding that I wasn't great at doing it before I started this challenge. and I'm not that great at doing it now. And it's something that I do need to get better at, though, because at the end of all of this, it's going to be me holding myself accountable that is going to get me to my goal weight. And it's something that I hadn't worked on, like I always had this channel as my accountability platform that I would get on, and I'd get on the scale and, I'm probably gonna have to get back to that, but I need to fix it without that at the same time, because this channel isn't a permanent thing. It's something where I'd love to be doing this for, 30 or 40 years, but just like I said, I didn't, what I was eating 5 years ago and what I'm going to eat 5 years from now, or what I was doing 5 years ago and what I'm going to be doing 5 years from now, I have no idea. There's an infinite number of things that could happen between now and 5 years from now. But if I want to see success and I want to see the sustained weight loss, I have to be able to do it on my own, even 5 years or 10 years or 20 years from now. It's going to be me holding myself accountable. It's going to be me making the right food choices that's going to get me to that success that I'm trying to get to. Anyways, yeah, I just wanted to pop on and do kind of a check-in video. I probably won't be live again till next week, but things are going well. I mean, I for as negative as a video as I feel like today has been, I'm still happy with how things are, and I'm happy with where I'm at. I'm definitely not 520 pounds anymore. And I'm far below any goal weight I had ever had in the past. And so, and maybe that's part of the difficulty too, is that I feel like I've been so successful and I'm doing so well. And things are so much easier. I went to, my son does cross country running, and I went to a cross country event, Tuesday this week, and I probably walked 2 miles myself, just trying to go and catch the different spots where the runners were running and getting everything situated beforehand. And I never would have been able to do that, 2-3 years ago. And so, it's, yeah, things are so much better than they were, but I still have to avoid those pleasure trap foods, and I have to make sure that I'm consuming a large volume of whole food, plant-based, salt, oil, sugar-free foods as well, because if I don't have the room in my stomach for the junk food, then it makes it much more difficult. And I have far fewer temptations if I'm full. It's a lot easier to avoid the junk food if you're full. So, but I am going to get off of here today. I got a few things to take care of. Again, I just wanted to check in, say hi. It was really my only chance this week to get on here. I will be back on next week. And hopefully it'll be a little bit more of a positive video, but I just wanted to kind of, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. And so, and not every day is sunshine and rainbows. Some days it's cloudy and stormy. So, anyways, I'm going to get out of here. I thank you guys so much for the support. It really does help keep me motivated and keeps me going. If you've not subscribed to the channel, get subscribed to the channel. Click on that bell icon so you get alerted. Appreciate it if you hit the thumbs up on this video as well. And if you have not started your diet yet, get started right now. There's nobody that reaches their goal weight, looks back, and wishes they would have waited. Everybody wishes they would have started sooner. So get started now, guys. I will see you on the next one.